Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this game was played in Prague Challenges 2025. And with the white pieces, we have the recently FIDE World Cup winner, an amazing tactician. You saw her play at the Olympiad. She got 9.5 out of 11, and yes, that's right, you guessed it right. I'm talking about the magician of India, Divya Deshmukh. And with the black pieces, we have Richard Stalmach. He's a very strong grandmaster from Czech Republic. And I'm sorry for the first move. I think the first move was just there. So with the white pieces, let's see what Divya has in store for Richard Stalmach. And without further ado, let's start with this game here. This game is absolutely amazing. If you love Tal's games, you're gonna love this game. Here, Divya starts with d4. We have knight to f6, c4, e6, and knight to c3. We're going to the Indian game. Most likely, people transpose here with bishop to b4 to the Nimzo, but here just d5, and now we have turned into Queen's Gambit decline. We have c captures, e captures, bishop to f4, trying to transpose into the London system. Bishop to d6, bishop captures, queen captures, and just e3. Bishop to f5 now, but just queen to f3. Bishop to g4, just attacking the queen, but a very nice queen to g3, asking for a queen trade early on, and definitely this is part of the best preparations. Queen to b4, now offering this pawn, but now just going for rook to b1, just defending it, and the queen is a little bit misplaced there. Castles, bishop to d3, but just knight bd7. We have a3, pushing the queen back. Queen goes to a5, and how do you get the queen back into the game? Because you're going to have to play a passive move like that, and it's a little bit weird. And knight to h3, a very nice way to just develop that knight, because you could go either as well, but this, once when she allowed it, definitely Richard Stalmach must be feeling that he has maybe just missed something, because once you go rook to b1 and a3, the queen is stuck there on the edge of the board, and now you go and develop the knight towards the edge of the board. So definitely just throwing Richard Stalmach completely off his preparations. And now a beautiful c5, and we have castles, and now just c4. C4 is a bit too much, simply because of the fact that you want to advance your pawn, but you don't want to do it at the cost of making them weak. And with these floating pawns that you have here, it's always better to trade, create two pawns in the center where both will be attacked by both parties, and mostly they get traded off you, and you go into a drawish endgame. So here, after c captures, e captures, bishop captures on h3, queen captures, you'll most likely see both of these pawns will be attacked, and one that will capture the other pawns first will be able to have a little bit of advantage. But here, after castle c4, and it's not a good move. Bishop to c2, but now just comes bishop captures on h3, queen captures, g6, but Divya right now goes for it. The idea of putting the queen off to a completely different sphere of the play was that you push f4, and here, after king to g7, now you push g4, and she is going right for the king, she is going right for the kill, and she is definitely playing like Morphy. And we have rook a to d8, we have g5, and now what do you do here? Knight to g8 was played. Knight to g8 is a little bit passive move, and we are right from the opening, and this is just move 19, and she already has the advantage. You can see the bar, and it's absolutely amazing. And she doesn't stop right here. She's not stop just pushing that pawns all the way. She goes f5 in this position, and that's absolutely spectacular. Now f6, and you can already see that there are a lot of things that can happen in this position. Queen to g2 was played by Divya, and we have knight to e7. We have rook to f2, f captures, queen captures, and just rook to f6. Rook b to f1 and rook d to f8, and you think that maybe you're surviving this position, but you're absolutely not. I'm now really going to ask you to pause this video and try and find the only winning move in this position. This move guarantees white's victory, and this is just one move in this position. Nothing else works. There's just one move. So have at it. It will make your day. It took me roughly 2 to 3 minutes to find this move, but yeah, it was worth it. So yeah, congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move, and the move is this beautiful knight to e2, and you will never ever understand if you don't know the position in depth, because what do you even play here? There is absolutely nothing. Let's say you play knight captures on f5. This is a complete blunder, because after bishop captures, rook captures, and rook captures, this pawn is pinned, and you're just complete rook up. So that's absolutely a blunder. You cannot play that. But you could go for the best move in this position, which is h6, and the idea is that you cannot capture here. Obviously you don't want to sack the queen, so you go queen to g4, but now just g5. And how are you ever pushing through? Well, now you go for the idea that you wanted to all along. You go h4, now pushing and completely annihilating kingside, and there is nothing you could do. queen to d8, trying to get the queen into the game, maybe just set up some sort of a defense, but just edge captures, queen captures, king to h8, and now now everything is for the taking. Just rook goes in, and there is no defense against that. And most likely in two moves you're just going to get mated. Rook blocks. Just this, and I think this is checkmate. So game would be absolutely over, and it doesn't even have to follow completely this path, but most likely your king side is getting shattered, and you're just either going material down or you're just getting checkmated. So that's the idea behind knight to e2, just completely shattering and winning a piece. You're just going to win this piece. There is no doubt about this. But instead, in this position, Divya was a little bit low on time and she could not find this. So she goes h4 to try and bust open the king side. But here is queen to b6, just trying to get the queen into the game again, but it's just a bit too late. The best move in this position again is just h5, and it looks very, very weird because again h6 is coming. You have to go back, and now this is being pushed, and these two pawns looks absolutely weird. How can this be winning? But you have a very beautiful move in this position which you forgot about. Use your pieces on the other side of the board, get them into the attack, and you'll win the game. Knight caps on d5. Knight captures, and after this queen captures, whatever you do, these pawn pushes are coming, and once this pawn gets there, this will get pushed, and there is no way black can survive this attack. There is no way. No matter who you put on the other side of the board, there is no way black can survive this attack. But here after queen to b6, we have bishop back to b1. It's just a waiting move. Trying to find the right right move while getting some time on your clock. Queen to c6, but now just comes knight to e2. Finally, Divya finds the move, and she found it at the very right time because it's still her advantage and it's still her game. King to h8, but now just comes f captures. We have knight to e7, and knight caps on g6 and just h5, and now there is no way you could do anything in this position. Knight to e7 was played. There are still some threats of this, so you have to be very much careful. But just rook captures, and now just going for this knight to f4, and now there is not much to hope for in this position. Bishop is already slicing all the way. The knight is controlling a lot of squares. Queen is already going here. King is going here. Even a move like that, and that is just completely game over. And here we have queen to d6, and Richard is asking Divya, how are you going to end this? Well, Divya says absolutely in style, rook to f2, and now there is no hope. Here rook to f8 was played, but just rook to g2. Now you cannot even play that, and now we have queen to f6, but just knight caps on d5, and now just going for queen to f1, king to h2, but just rook to g8, and Richard thought that maybe the position is completely agreeing with him, and finally maybe he can get a draw at least, but just comes bishop to g6. A beautiful sacrificial move, and this is the only move that wins this game in the spot, because hereafter knight captures on d5 was played, queen captures, and knight to f6 was played, but now just comes queen to f5. And if you trade here, then the position is completely lost, because you have these two extra pass pawns in the middle of the board, and that's exactly what was played. Queen captures, but after bishop captures, you have rook to e8, trying to not trade those rooks because these passes are absolute monsters. But here just rook to g3, knight caps on h5, rook to h3, and now if you move, then you get this with a check. So here just knight to f6 was played, but just taking to g2, rook to e7, king to f3, and just rook to c7. No matter what you do, you cannot stop these passes, and that's exactly the thing that's going to happen. King to f4, but just knight to d5 check, king moves to the center, and now just e4, and now just that pass pawn is pushing. There is no way you could do anything. Knight to a4 was played, but just d5, rook to e7 check, king to d4, and now just going for b5, but just d6. But now comes this rook to f7, finally going for d7, and it was on this move, on move 50, that Richard Stalmach resigned the game, and Divya Deshmukh, the absolute magician, that move was just pure magic, and she got this victory in 50 moves exactly, and absolutely aggressive, spectacular Morphy style play, and that's what she's known for. That's how she played. That's what her natural game is, and this is just a joy to watch. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, and yeah, stay tuned so you'll be updated about these games. These are just absolutely amazing games, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you for watching.